Okay, good evening. It is 6:30 on Tuesday, August 11th, 2026. This is the time and place for the regular meeting of the Northern Lebanon School District Board of Directors. Do call this meeting to order. We will begin this evening with a flag salute and a moment of silence. Would you please stand? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which is one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty. And a moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll proceed with roll call. Mrs. Hartman, may I please have the roll call?
Director Blau,
Here.
Director England,
Here.
Director Fowler,
Present.
Director Klein,
Here.
Director Kreiser,
Present.
Director Moyer,
Here.
Director Murray,
Present.
Vice President Williams,
Here.
President Nam,
Present.
all present.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is presentations. Dr. East, I understand we do not have any presentations this evening. Okay. And I understand also there is no superintendent's report since Dr. Messinger is not here. Okay, great. Then we will move to public comment. Participants who wish to speak in an open board meeting were asked to register their intent with the board secretary by 3 p.m. today. I understand that we do have 2 individuals wishing to give public comment. Participants must be recognized by the presiding officer and must preface their comments by an announcement of their name and group affiliation if applicable. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 4 minutes duration. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No participant may address or question school directors individually. The presiding officer may interrupt or terminate a participant's statement when that statement is too lengthy, personally directed, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. I will start the clock when each speaker begins speaking. Ms. Ingram, you are first.
All right, Christina Ingram, since the documents that you used to determine the proposed increase amounts weren't shared with the public, many of the residents, and I took the time to gather and compare information ourselves. I sent all of you an email. I hope you took the time to review it. For those who didn't, I will summarize it. One reason you mentioned for a need to increase the salary was due to the Act 93 employees exceeding his salary. I compiled the current salaries in the individual contracts and the top 5 earning Act 93 employees. I trended their salaries out to 2028. Unless there is something the public is unaware of, the Act 93 employees are only subject to the yearly increases. Even if they would take the max increase and Messinger would get no increase, their salaries would never overlap before his departure. The only one who could potentially overlap would be the business manager who's up for renewal in 2027. Even for her to surpass him, it would have to be a $33,000 increase. Do you plan on increasing her salary by that much next year? The salary list was provided by the business manager. An increase of 3.5% was added, and then a potential total for the 27-28 school year was identified. The last column shows the difference between them. The confirmation that this expense was not included in the budget, followed by the suggestion that contingency funds be used to cover it, is concerning. Contingency funds exist for the circumstances that cannot be predicted with certainty. A salary increase being considered and approved by the board is not an unforeseen emergency. What happens if an emergency occurs later and those funds have already been spent? The district should be protecting contingency funds, not using them at a discretionary salary increase that the board is choosing to make. The statement about all others making $200,000 and is hard to come by doesn't match the information that the residents gathered. I spoke to one of the local school boards who recently hired. They advised that at least 14 submissions were made by local people for their superintendent position. The increase wasn't budgeted. It should not overlap. It's not a scarce position, and not all of them make $200,000. Is this real plan to prepare for the next contract renewal? We will be doing a similar review for the next renewal. Mr. Messinger is often described as someone who accepted a hometown discount. If that is an accomplishment worth recognizing, why not allow him to complete his current contract with that distinction intact? And let the next contract be negotiated based on their experience and qualifications. In the charts provided, the salaries, student counts, population sizes, budgets were compiled for the listed districts. The first chart compares the salaries in the range of $202,000. You will see that most of them have more years of service. The other two have significantly higher student counts, overall population, and total households. The second chart compared his current salary range. Many are consistent with the years of service or student count and population. The third chart included local counties and comparable school districts by student and population. The fourth chart compared Lebanon County schools. We are the second least in student population. I have expressed similar concerns about the Anvil-Cleona finances. The other schools have significantly higher student count and budget amounts. The final chart identified schools who have assistance and how many. If the board is still determined to approve increases despite these concerns, then at minimum, apply the same reasoning you used last week regarding the substitute payments. Don't make the entire increase at once. Instead, phase it in. At least that approach would limit the immediate impact on taxpayers and preserve some of the funds for circumstances that actually qualify as unforeseen emergencies. Look at the budget, look at the comparisons, and before spending unbudgeted contingency funds, make sure you can clearly explain to the taxpayers a legitimate reason as to why the expense is necessary now. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Second person for public comment this evening is Mr. Myers. Mr. Myers.
Hey, thank you all for having me. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me last week too. I need to get some paperwork out of the way and submit an affidavit here that I've written. I tried to reach out to your solicitor yesterday and made a call to her. I believe her name is Dawn. I forget her name, but she works for Stump and Saxton, or Saxton and Stump. I'm just finding out that this solicitor, which is supposed to be a hometown Lancaster firm, represents over 130 school districts here in Pennsylvania and everywhere else, which is a pretty big monopoly when you consider everything else that their firm covers as far as insurance, other businesses, other nefarious nodes that they're dealing in Philadelphia, near Malvern, and they have offices everywhere. So they portray themselves as small time, but I would have really appreciated a call back from her. I gave her 24 hours and did not receive a call. The call was in the nature of basically getting bond and insurance information on the oaths of office of the board members and all the other structures here in Pennsylvania that are aligning with the IU-13, the Pennsylvania National Guard, and also Northern Lebanon School District. Now, they represent a lot of different school districts. I'm not just pinpointing Northern Lebanon. But first of all, before I forget, who can I serve this to?
Oh, we don't receive documents. You can leave it at the table.
Okay. Well, it's going to be posted online, so I appreciate, and I want to just note the fact that it is notarized. There's 40 pages here, and we'll put it on. If anybody wants to write down my email address, you're welcome to. It's kmyersdesign@yahoo.com. I'd be happy to send you a copy. Otherwise, it'll be posted on Facebook and other. So yeah, last time I was here, I came up with readings the day before the meeting of 230 microteslas or milligauss. And basically, that's like standing within a, the apparatus over here, substation. It's a highly charged electrode grid. So I also have some other questions regarding student seizures that might have occurred here, first time especially, as both my granddaughters had endothermic seizures based on certain days when electromagnetic radiation was high here in Pennsylvania, also corroborated by pictures and not as your concern, but stratospheric aerosol injections and weather modification that was going on here. Now, Northern Lebanon is known for its chicken and its military industrial complex. So that's where we're at right now. I'm here as a full blown creditor, first in line, universally secured through my director at Susky Air Squadron. I put in over 70,000 hours of research since 2012. I'm a scientist. I basically have sponsored research at Penn State. I'm an expert on the grid as a solar integrator and also inventor. So I'm probably getting close to my time, but all I want to say is some of the oaths of office here have been breached fiduciarily and safety-wise. Those people are going to be identified, and we're going to pull these bonds. Now, the insurers are on the hook for treble damages, if not more, maybe up to 30 for scienter and actual willful malfeasance and directed towards children of all people. So that's what I'm here about tonight. This is nothing but business. I had two different visits today. One from a state policeman that got calls here about being concerned. Maybe some of you got my email over the weekend, maybe some of you didn't, but I would encourage you and I would implore your solicitor, because the solicitor top partner Kent did receive it, and we have gotten that through confirmation. So if they've not given that a copy of that email, or you do not receive a copy of this, they're not doing their due diligence and they're setting you up for failure. We have rescinded our whistleblower statutes until we can figure out this was simply a precautionary measure to see who came out.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Your
your
time
time.
is
Thank you
expired,
so
Mr. Mayor.
much.
Thank you. Okay, next item this evening. We will review our consent agenda. And hold on just a second.
You have
Hold on.
your statements
No,
ready.
I don't. I'm gonna try to find that. Just bear with me one second.
You pat me back.
Okay, apologies. Okay, it should be noted that public notice was given for this meeting in accordance with Act 84 of 1986. By notice of the president, the following action requires a voice vote. All votes in favor shall be stated with an aye or yes. All votes opposed shall be stated with a nay or no. All members abstaining shall state I abstain when prompted. The votes will be recorded in the minutes as a unanimous roll call vote unless there are any votes in opposition or abstention. If necessary, the president may subsequently call for a roll call vote to be recorded in the minutes. Okay, so the first item is the consent agenda. That is identified by items 5.1 through 5.23, and then the discussion agenda will follow that. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Reist to walk us through each of these items.
I have nothing to add to the consent agenda other than what was discussed last week.
Great, thank you. Is there a motion from the board to approve this evening's consent agenda items 5.1 through 5.23?
Motion to approve 5.1 through 5.23.
Thank you, Director Murray. Is there a second?
Second.
Great, thank you, Director Blau. Any discussion this evening? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion, please indicate with an aye or yes. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, my vote is also yes, so the consent agenda passes unanimously, and now we'll move to the discussion
If I can
agenda.
just, I need to abstain from 5.19, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay,
I had a conflict of interest.
thank you. Then let the minutes note that items 5.1 through 5.23 were approved unanimously with the exception of, I'm sorry, 5.19. Director England has abstained from 5.19. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Okay. All right. With that, then we will go to the discussion agenda. Anything for building and finance, Dr. Reist?
Budget and finance, there's nothing to discuss this week. We'll move right on to item 7, which is facilities. All of these items were presented last week, but they were asked to be moved to discussion. Again, 7.1 is a 5-year agreement with turf, track, and court for field maintenance at the synthetic turf fields. Item 7.2 is the approval for a 5-year agreement with the same company for the GMAX testing of the synthetic turf athletic fields. 7.3 involves the replacement of an HVAC unit over the wood shop area at the secondary building. 7.4 is an approval of a change order for soil remediation in the small basin to the west of the baseball field. 7.5 is the change order for construction master services for the undercutting of the unsuitable soils at the tennis court. And 7.6 is the approval for a 3-year maintenance agreement for the movable partitions in the elementary school.
Okay. Any questions for administration regarding 7.1 through 7.6? Any of those individually or collectively as a whole? Okay. If there are no questions, then I will receive a motion to approve items 7.1 through 7.6. Is there such a motion?
Move to approve 7.1 through 7.
Thank you, Director England. Is there a second?
Second.
It was Director Kreiser. Thank you. Okay. All right, any discussion? Okay, if there is no discussion, then all those in favor of approving items 7.1 through 7.6 pursuant to the motion, please indicate with an aye or yes. Any opposed
No.
on all of them?
Nope. 7.3, 7.4, and 7.5, please.
7.3, 7.4, 7.5. Okay. Thank you, Director Moyer.
Yep.
All right, my vote is a yes to 7.1 through 7.6, so let the minutes note that 7.1, 7.2, and 7.6 were approved unanimously. 7.3, 7.4, and 7.5 were approved by a vote of 8-1. Okay, thank you. We'll move then to Human Resources, and Dr. East, I'll defer to you how you want to go about this. We can go through the whole thing, and
I'll
if
try to
people
go
have
through
questions, okay.
and if there's any questions that come up, feel free to ask. 8.1 is an annual look at the athletic event staff pay. And the goal that was achieved this year is that some of our positions, the folks that are working the games, some of the positions you could leave after your role was done.
Mhm.
And that created this somewhat of an unfair pay structure for the people that were doing more than one game, even though it was the same position for both games and they were staying here for an extended period of time. So the goal was to try to make it more equal or equitable pay when it comes to folks that were staying for two games to be game help over two games. So that's 8.1. 8.2 is to add a building substitute for the secondary building. I believe you'll recall Dr. Messinger has mentioned about the changes in expectation for building substitutes and how the belief is that that will be an instructional benefit to the students at the secondary building. 8.3, you've discussed and are aware of that proposal. I don't have anything to add to that if you have something.
Why don't we stop there, Dr.
Okay.
Race, and we'll go through any questions regarding items 8.1, 8.2, or 8.3. Okay. I'll receive a motion, or if a board member has an alternative approach, I'll receive a motion to approve items 8.1 through 8.3 at this time. Is there such a motion? I'll receive an alternative motion if Director is so inclined.
Can we just do them one at a time?
Sure. All right, I'll receive a motion to approve item 8.1.
I motion to approve 8.1.
Okay, thank you, Director Klein. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Director Murray. Any discussion regarding 8.1? Okay, if not, all those in favor, please indicate with an aye or yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, my vote's also a yes, so 8.1 passes unanimously. Is there a motion to approve item 8.2?
Motion to approve 8.2.
Thank you, Director Murray. Is there a second? Thank you, Director England. Any discussion regarding item 8.2? Okay, if not, all those in favor, please indicate with an aye or yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, my vote's also yes, so 8.2 carries unanimously. Is there a motion to approve item 8.3?
Motion to approve 8.3.
Thank you, Director Murray. Is there a second? Thank you, Director England. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of approving item 8.3, please indicate with an aye or yes. Any opposed?
No.
Okay, my vote is also yes. Is there a desire for a roll call vote? I heard one no. Okay, with that then, let the minutes record that item 8.3 was approved by a vote of 8-1. Okay, let's do 8.4 individually, if you don't
Okay.
mind. Okay.
Erica is here this evening. We'd like to welcome her. She is the recommended candidate to fill Justin Bruce's position as he moves into the principal role.
Great, thank you. Is there a motion to approve 8.4? Thank you, Director England. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Director Kreiser. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate with an aye or yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none. My vote's also yes. Motion carries unanimously. Very glad to
Welcome.
have you. Welcome to Northern Lebanon. It's great to have you join us. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll do 8.5 through 8.8, I think, together.
Okay, 8.5 is hiring Luca as a secondary math teacher. Approve the mentors for transition mentor for Chad Mays and a mentor for Courtney. And then approve resignation of Andrew Lindberg, elementary art teacher, effective August 23rd for personal reasons. And approve the attached school security guard job description.
Okay. Any questions regarding 8.5 through 8.8? Any of those items individually?
Is the 8 a new position?
Yes, that was added
Yep.
from last week. Yep.
And is that security guard going to go in the elementary?
I'm sorry, to answer the,
There's
I may
three
have, I may have misunderstood
Okay,
the
me
question.
too. I might
The
have.
8.8 is an added item from last week. That is an
Okay,
accurate
yep.
statement.
And then is it,
8.1, 8.8 as a job description. If we're able to do what we intend to do, it would be a change in title for a position that currently exists. So it
Okay.
would be a budget neutral decision to do that. What the job description does is allows us to hire into that position in the future should we need or the opportunity exists to do so.
Yeah, good question. Good clarification. Thank you. Any other questions?
And this is to satisfy the mandate of the
This-
requirement to have a security
This-
person for each building?
Yes, this will help us meet that requirement. One of the things that's ambiguous in the legislation as it passed is this concept of, do you have coverage all the time? If you'll recall, the first year of the revised legislation requiring us to have armed personnel, security personnel, that we had to fill out a waiver because we couldn't guarantee that SPO Lawver was going to be on site every day that we had students here. So by having someone trained and titled in a security role, it will help us cover that not 24-hour, but our 100% student day coverage, and we'll no longer have to apply for a waiver to that. As far as the coverage in all buildings, that legislation has been proposed, has not passed. But having a tool like this where we have a lesser paid position that still has the security role would allow us to meet some of the requirements unless the legislation is passed that it requires armed personnel, which has been some of the discussion at the state level. So to answer the question, I don't have an answer to the question that it would actually meet the requirement if that requirement comes to be, but it meets the requirements that are currently in place. Yes.
Okay, great. Great, thank you. Any other questions regarding these items?
One other question.
Sure.
It says weekend and evening hours may be required. So that would include other special events and things like that, just.
Correct. The job description was written so that it could be used universally, not just during the student day, but also for things like football games or occasions where we might have a large public use of the building and we need to supply some level of security to protect, our assets as well.
Great, good questions. Any others? All right, if not, is there a motion to approve items 8.5 through 8.8?
Motion to approve 8.5 to 8.8.
Thank you, Director Murray. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Director Blau. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate with an aye or yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none. My vote's also yes. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you. There is nothing for item 9, instructional approval, so we'll move to agreements. Item 10, Dr. East.
Sure. Item 10.1 is the approval of the ATSI plan. You'll recall that this is an annual approval that we do. The plan is revised every year And that's partially the rationale for why it needs to be approved every year because it is a modified plan. You'll recall that this is targeting our special education population in the secondary building. And then 10.2 is an agreement. I liken this agreement to how we provide professional development to our teachers in their specific areas of expertise. This is providing professional development expertise to our speech language pathologist.
Okay, great. Any questions regarding either of those two items? Okay, if not, I'll receive a motion to approve items 10.1 and 10.2 together.
Motion to approve 10.1 and 10.2.
Thank you, Director Blau. Is there a second? Thank you, Director Klein. Any discussion? Okay, if not, all those in favor of approving the motion, please indicate with an aye or yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none. My vote's also a yes. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. That takes us through to the discussion agenda. We'll move next to reports. CTC, Director Klein, any report?
I do not have one for you this month. I
Okay.
will have one for you, next month.
Okay, thank you. Legislative liaison, Director Kreiser.
Obviously, the biggest thing that occurred was the state budget was passed, even though it was a little bit late, but it was passed and our school district saw a little bit of increase in funding. Another interesting part that was part of the budget bill was that there's mandatory recess required for full day kindergarten through 5th grade, 30 minutes, preferably outside if at all possible.
And I'll add a clarifier on that came out later. That's not in effect until the following school year. So legislation made it sound like it would be in effect for this school year, but it is the 27-28 school year.
Okay, okay. When are we gonna implement?
I
When
believe
required.
27-28.
Okay, all right, great. Anything else?
No.
Okay, thank you. Excellent report. PSBA liaison, Director Blau.
I don't have anything.
Okay. And IU 13, Director Murray.
No report this month, but
Okay.
I will have one next month as well.
Great, thank you. Yep, it's a slow season.
Yes.
Change Order Committee.
No report.
Okay, thank you. All right, that takes us through our reports. Informational, Dr. Reese, anything to point out with informational?
First student day,
Yep.
31st.
31st, okay.
Staff is back on the 24th.
All right, fantastic.
New teachers next week. Here we go. School year's starting.
Looking forward to another great year. So, yes, good. Is there a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting?
Motion to adjourn. All right.
Thank you, Director Murray. Director England, yours is a second. Any discussion on that motion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate with an aye or yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none. My vote is a yes. This motion carries unanimously. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.